Good evening and welcome to the February 2nd, 2016 Planning Commission for San Bruno. Is there anyone here going to the Parks meeting tonight? Because they're next door. Everyone's here for the Planning Commission? Okay, good. And if you could please turn off your cell phones, pagers, electronic devices. And for those at home, anyone wishing to follow along, you can find the packets for the meeting at sanbrunoca.gov. Roll call, please.
Chair Biasotti.
Here.
Vice Chair Kayal.
Here.
Commissioner Chase. Commissioner Johnson.
Here.
Commissioner Mishra.
Here.
Commissioner Peterson.
Here.
Commissioner Samut. Thank you.
Okay. And Miriam, would you be so kind as to lead us in the Pledge of Allegiance, please?
Allegiance to the flag of the United States of America and to the republic for which it stands, one nation, under God, indivisible, with liberty and justice for all.
Thank you. Item 1, approval of the minutes.
Through the chair, I move that we approve the minutes of January 19th, 2016.
Okay, we have a motion. Do we have a second?
Second.
Motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
I'm going to, through the chair, I'm going to abstain because I didn't review the tape.
Very good. And we have one abstention. The minutes are approved. Communications.
Chair Biasotti, there are no additional communications this evening.
All right. Is there anyone in the public who would like to make a comment on something that's not on the agenda tonight? Okay. Public comment is closed. Any conflicts of interest this evening? No? Okay, no conflicts. So we'll move into the hearings then. Item 5A is 3140 Crestmore Drive. Request for a use permit to allow construction of a two-story addition. Michael, please.
Michael Smith, Planning Department staff. The subject property is located in the Crestmore neighborhood on Crestmore Drive between Cambridge Lane and Bryant Way in the Crestmore subdivision. The property measures approximately 6,000 square feet and is developed with a one-story over garage single-family dwelling that was constructed in 1959. It contains 3 bedrooms and 2 bathrooms and approximately 1,154 square feet. The residence includes a 619 square foot garage at the ground floor for a total gross square footage of 1,773. Immediately adjacent to the subject property are single-family dwellings with John Muir Elementary School located just to the north of the site. The applicant is proposing a 1,337 square foot 2-story addition at the rear of an existing 2-story single-family residence, and it would increase its depth by approximately 20 feet. The ground floor expansion would include a large bonus room, and the second floor expansion would enlarge the existing master bedroom and kitchen located at the rear of the building. The proposed addition would utilize exterior materials that match the existing home's finished materials, and if approved and constructed, the residence would remain a 3-bedroom, 2-bath home with a total floor area of 2,491 gross square feet, not including the garage. The project requires a use permit because it will increase the gross floor area of the existing home by greater than 50%, 75% to be exact. The project would comply with all other development standards. The addition's primary purpose is to enlarge the existing kitchen and master bed located at the rear of the building at the second floor. The addition would also result in a new ground floor bonus room that is accessed through the garage. The project complies with the residential design guidelines because it is well integrated into the existing building, and the exterior finished materials match the existing finished materials, so there would be a well integrated portion of the building. Furthermore, the addition would be located at the rear of the building in an area that is not readily visible from the right-of-way, so it would not disturb the visual character of the neighborhood. The Architectural Review Committee reviewed this project at its January 14th meeting and forwarded the project to the Planning Commission with no additional recommendation. This hearing was noticed to the public pursuant to the legal requirements, and no public comment was received. The rear neighbor did attend the ARC meeting to express some concern about the protection of his bay view, protection of privacy at the rear of his property, and replacement of the shared rear fence between the properties. This concludes my presentation, but staff is recommending that the commission approve the use permit request based on findings 1 through 6 in the staff report and subject to conditions of approval 1 through 26. And once again, this concludes my presentation.
Thank you, Michael. Is the applicant here? Would you like to step to the podium and just give us a little comment on your project, please?
Just because, like his name's Mike, said that just wanted to add a second story in the back for the kitchen and master bedroom expansion. That's pretty much it.
Okay.
I'm just the contractor, so.
Okay, actually, if you could give us your name for the record, please.
Kurt Walker.
Thank you. Okay. Any questions for the applicant? Thank you. Any questions for staff?
Through the chair,
Commissioner Mishra.
I have a question for staff regarding the floor plan on A2.1. In the past, a floor plan like this with no connection of the bonus room to the interior of the house would have raised some red flags. I was wondering if you guys had any concerns, or fire department or was it police department had any concerns? It just seems kind of bizarre.
Yes, staff did have some concerns with the ground floor room. It's fairly large. What we ultimately decided, though, was that room does not have its own facilities, meaning bathroom or any sort of plumbing. So it could not easily be converted into its own separate living space that would be rented out to someone else. And then we also noticed that it would be very difficult to create the internal connection to that space, because if you see where the stairs come down right now, they kind of naturally flow into the garage, and then the room that they're adding is kind of behind the garage, so it makes it kind of a little bit more difficult to provide that interior connection. So once again, because they weren't proposing any plumbing facilities in that space, we were okay with it being a standalone room.
Okay.
Just if I could expand on that, I think from a staff standpoint, as far as internal connection, we've been particularly focusing on could this be converted into perhaps an illegal second unit? And as Michael indicated, our sense is that given the fact of lack of restroom, bathroom facilities here, that's unlikely. And that in terms of ingress, egress, there is ingress, egress opportunity out through the rear. There's a doorway there. So in terms of public safety, we felt that as far as circulation, ingress, egress, that was addressed as well. So from a staff standpoint, we're supporting the bonus room in this case.
Okay. In that regard, question to the applicant. Condition number 6, have you read that one? That's the home shall be used as a single-family residence or single-family unit. No portion of the residence shall be rented out as a secondary dwelling unit. Okay, you okay with that? Okay. Any other?
Through the chair.
Commissioner Peterson.
I'm sorry, did I miss, did you announce that we had opened the public hearing?
Oh, no, we haven't gotten there yet.
Oh, we haven't. Oh, so this
You know what? I forgot. This is still our
preliminary
comment.
to the public hearing?
Yeah, I forgot.
Oh, okay, thank you.
Is there anyone in the public who'd like to make a comment on this project? Okay, public comment is closed. Thank you, Perry. I forgot. All right, back to the commission for a motion or comments.
Through the chair, I move that the planning commission approve use permit 15-025 based on the finding facts 1 through 6 and subject to the conditions of approval 1 through 26.
Do we have a second?
Through the chair, I'll second the motion.
Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Okay, the motion is approved, and there's a 10-day appeal period before any action can be taken. Thank you. All right, item 5B, 1662 Hickory Avenue. Staff report, please.
Good evening, Commissioners. I'm Paula Bradley, the project planner. The applicant is proposing to construct a 458 square foot first floor addition and a 481 square foot second floor addition. The total is 939 square feet proposed. This would be to the rear of the existing 1,382 square foot single-family home. It's 1 story. The project will also exceed the maximum 1,825 square feet of gross floor area allowed for a home with only 1-car garage, and the proposed will exceed that by 274 square feet, and the home will be 2,099 square feet without the garage. So the home is an existing 3-bedroom, 1-bath, and the expansion would add 2 bedrooms and 1.5 bath. So it become 5 bedrooms with 2.5 baths, a total of 2,371 square feet. So the project exceeds the home is an expansion over 50%. The expansion will be 68%. And the floor area remains less than the maximum FAR of 55%. The proposed home would be 44%. The project meets all of the other zoning requirements and development standards. The project went to the architecture review, and one recommendation was made, and that was incorporated in the plans to include the area of this open second floor area where the ceiling exceeded 15 feet. And the setbacks were determined using the daylight plane calculation for this project, but they also incorporated other architectural details, including step backs, to decrease the mass and bulk of the home. So the addition is on the rear of the home. Behind the home is a 2-story on a higher grade than this existing home. So the rear would look down onto this second story addition. And then to the sides, it would be visible, but it'd be overlook the rear yards and garage of the home on the east, and on the west would be similar. So some of the details that were added: the second floor step backs included 1 foot on the west elevation and 3 feet on the east elevation. Some other details include on the west elevation a roof separating the first and second floor. And on the east elevation, there's a 3-foot deep balcony with a slider, which does overlook the garage in the rear yard of the home to the east. Staff believes that would not create a privacy issue because of the location of that balcony wouldn't look into any windows, and the side setback is not more than 10 feet on that side. The front of the addition is stepped back 22 feet from the front, and the first floor addition sidewall is offset 5 feet, creating a larger setback of 10 feet instead of the 5 feet required. And the proposed is designed with a roof with the same pitch as the existing home, which is a 3-1, which serves to keep the mass of the home minimized. Concerning the parking, the 825 square feet with the 1-car garage. The existing garage is used for a garage. It's a more typical size garage that can fit a vehicle and has an 8-foot wide door. In front of the garage is a parking pad, which is wide enough and deep enough where 2 cars could park off-street. So staff didn't have any reservation allowing this additional area. So three vehicles could be parked off-street, 1 in the garage and 2 on the parking pad in front of the home. Staff is recommending the Planning Commission approve the project without any recommendations based on the findings 1 through 6 and subject to the conditions of approval 1 through 27. Be happy to answer any questions.
Thank you, Paula. Any questions for staff?
Through the chair,
Commissioner Peterson?
the project analysis says that the floor area is less than the maximum FAR of 55 at 44, but the table above says 55 and 45. Should one of those be changed, the 44 or the 45, or am I looking at the wrong place?
I think there are two different numbers. It could be a rounding difference. But they should be the same number. That's correct.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, thank you. Thank you, Paul. Okay, is the applicant here? Would you give us your name and tell us a little about your project, please?
Good evening.
Through the
My name
chair,
is-
excuse me, sir, through the chair, are we opening the public hearing now?
After the applicant.
After the applicant, then?
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, if I could, it may be more appropriate to open the public hearing, invite the applicant to present, continue and receive any comments from additional people
Okay.
that may want to comment, then close the public hearing and proceed.
Okay.
Thank
Then
you.
okay, in that case, we'll open a public comment, or a public part of the hearing, and if you would go ahead.
Good evening. Thank you, Paula. My name is Samir Nasser. I'm the owner of 1662 Hickory Avenue. Today is really a great day for me because we've been going through this for a long, long time. You know, when we moved into 1662 Hickory Avenue, we were a small family and young, so we kind of managed. We had 3 bedroom and 1 bath, 1,160 square feet. So when we grow up, it's more frustrating to manage the bathroom, the space, and everything. So we thought either we make the house bigger or move to a bigger house. But because we love San Bruno is a wonderful city. It's so clean, it's so organized, it's refreshing, it's central. Any place you go, you move around, it's there, very close. So we like to stay here. So we kind of brainstorm about the space and the design, and we thought we need a big house and big bedrooms and everything. Then when we came to the city, said, no, wait, you can't do that. There's a calculation you have to cut down and everything. So we cut down, and we had some kind of like different design where the stairs in the back of the house. Then we end up with 4 bedrooms. We're 6 people, and everybody need a bedroom. So we kind of redesigned it with the architect, and we moved the stairs inside of the house. So we had additional a bedroom in the 2nd floor in the addition. So that gave every member a bedroom. So it was a wonderful thing to do. So this is kind of like a great day for me, you know. Hopefully from here on, you know, I will start doing the real things and build it after your approval. So we look at the house, and from the outside, after we imagine the house on the paper and look and say, you know, the house is not bulky, it's not massive, it's compatible with the neighborhood. As Paula mentioned regarding the garage, we have the driveway. We could fit 2 large cars easily. And we like the house. We think that the size of the house is within the criteria of the city. We're not above. And the ratio between the size of the house and the lot, it's also compatible with the city rules and standard. So I appreciate if the Planning Commission tonight approve me, and we thank you very much. Thank you.
Thank you. Any questions for the applicant? No? Okay, thank you very much. Is there anyone in the public who would like to speak on this issue? No? Okay, hearing that, the public comment is closed. Back to the commission for a comment or a vote.
Through the chair?
Commissioner.
Just a comment, I really wanted to acknowledge, I really appreciated seeing the material listing on the plans, and I don't know if that's acknowledgement because the department requested it or the architect included it, I'm not sure which, but it was really great to see that page with all the color listings, the materials, the blocks, the routine, the whole palette. It was just really great to see that, so I wanted to acknowledge that. And if there are no other comments, I'm happy to make a motion. Planning Commission, are there any other? Planning Commission approved use permit 15-017 based on findings of facts 1 through 6 and subjects to conditions of approval 1 through 27.
Do we have a second? Okay, we have a motion and a second. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Any abstentions? Great. And there's a 10-day appeal period before you can go ahead with the project. Okay, thank you. Item C is 131 Del Norte. Paula, staff report, please.
I'm Paula Bradley, the project planner for the 131 Del Norte Drive project, and this action would legalize a 275 square foot family room extension on the first floor, which will increase the gross floor area of the existing home to 2,814 square feet, which is above the maximum of 2,344 square feet. And so that'll exceed that by 470 square feet. The existing home already does exceed that maximum gross floor area by 195 square feet. So if this was approved, it would add an additional 275 square feet. The home is a 3-bedroom, 2.5-bathroom home with a total floor area of 2,344 square feet, not including the garage. And also with this project, there's a minor modification to allow a reduced side setback from the 5 feet required to 4 feet 3 inches, allowing a encroachment of 9 inches. Staff reviewed the project, and the addition is in the rear of the home. It's actually partially subgrade. 3 of the sides are below grade. There's one side that one can see from the side to the northeast. And then the deck, they have a second-story deck over that first floor, which is actually larger than the first floor because it has an overhang. So the second floor deck from the home, viewed from the southwest, would look down onto the deck, and there's also a trellis which is on that deck. The trellis is staff's recommending that the trellis be removed because it doesn't meet the setback requirements for planning or for building. The addition is existing, and the colors and materials used for that addition match the rest of the existing home. So there's stone used, the colors are the same. The deck above that addition is most of what can be seen from the side. There's a steep incline behind the home, 32%. And the home is fairly restricted in terms of the shape of the lot. It's irregular. The wall on the southwest side continues, with the addition. So the rear corner of that addition encroaches into the side setback for about 3 to 4 feet. The Architecture Review Committee did review the project, and the recommendations made were mostly recommendations for more details added to the plans without any design changes. and those are incorporated into the plans. The ground level addition is consistent with the residential design guidelines as it is integrated and it's actually not visible to the side or the front of the home. The uncovered deck is 381 square feet, larger than the footprint below, and the project, if approved, will be required to legalize that and obtain building permits for that addition. Staff hasn't received any comments from the public about the project, and staff would like to recommend that the Planning Commission approve the project, and the only condition is to remove the trellis. That concludes my staff report. Thank you.
Thank you, Paula. Any questions for staff?
Through the chair.
Commissioner Johnson.
I just want to check in about that trellis again. I'm just trying to look the issues with the trellis that it was recommended to remove it. Can you give me a bit more insight to that?
Okay, the trellis is, let me find the best sheet first. Hold on.
Yeah, I was trying to see it. I read it, but I don't seem to find it now. Just a moment. The reason I'm asking is that I live in that area, and I'm not within, with close enough to recuse myself, but it's so windy up there. And unless there was some detrimental piece of it, I just wanted to check in as to the reason behind.
It's not shown very clearly, but if you look at sheet A1.0, yeah, there is I think you can see it, one of the photographs.
On page 13, there's a picture. You can see it. And I actually saw it, but
Right, you can see the photograph at the bottom of page 13 shows the addition. Those are the French doors opening out to the northeast side. So you can pretty clearly see the deck above, and then also the stairs and railings, and above that railing, you can see the house to the southwest,
right,
looking down on it, and you see the trellis there. It's not very large.
Right, I drove by, but I wasn't able to see the trellis itself,
Yeah.
too.
Yeah, the problem with the trellis is it's separate from the fence, but it's just above the fence and at the fence line, and it's required to be at least 3 feet from that property line. So for that reason, it's recommended to be removed, and they could apply for another design of a trellis that would meet the requirements.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions for staff? Okay, thank you, Paul. We'll open up the public comment part of the meeting, and if the applicant would like to come to the podium and give us your name and tell us about your project.
Good evening, Mark Buccarelli, architect. I think Paula pretty much covered. If you have any questions, yeah, the owner would have liked to save the trellis, but we understand that it's not meeting the ordinance, so be it.
Okay, very good. Any questions for the applicant?
Through the chair.
Commissioner Johnson.
Did the applicant consider submitting plans or discussion with staff to discuss being able to keep the trellis with some adaptations to it?
No, we didn't really get into that, but I think they were more concerned about just, trying to get the addition approved. And, I could certainly talk to them again about it.
Well, it stops here, right?
Yeah,
So I would like to have been able to have seen that. I drove by and tried my efforts, but just because of the wind, it's just atrocious up there. I understand all of the creative ways that I've seen people try to minimize that wind. Okay, thank you.
Through the chair, regarding that trellis, the staff has indicated that it could be modified and still conform with our code. So it's a question of an encroachment into a required setback area. So staff would be more than happy to continue to work with the applicant, and prior to building permit issuance to move forward with this project, if we can find a way, and there probably is a way, to modify that trellis so it conforms with the setback and still provides the homeowner with a trellis feature, we could go forward and do that at your direction.
Thank you. Any other questions for the applicant? Okay, thank you.
Through the chair.
Yes, Commissioner Peterson.
I was looking at the drawings, and I noticed that they don't seem to have a scale. Is there some place there's a scale on the drawings?
In the title block.
In the
Quarter
title
scale.
block?
I think everything's quarter scale.
Well, for instance, on sheet 2.2, oh, I see, quarter inch equals a foot. Okay. And on those drawings, I was checking some of the measurements, like on 4.1.
Yes.
It indicates the maximum height limit of the roof is 30 feet.
Uh-huh.
And some of those scale about 30 feet, but one of them doesn't scale 30 feet. Is that just possibly a printing error?
Which dimension?
On sheet 4.1 near the top of the drawing?
Uh-huh.
If one of them's a little bit off, maybe it's just a drafting inaccuracy.
Oh, maybe.
Again, through the chair, as I look at this diagram here, this plan sheet, there is a call-out, a dimensional call-out at 30 feet as well.
Okay. And on sheet 2.2, it has the trellis, and it looks like it might be about a foot into the side setback, but there's no dimension. Do you know what that dimension actually might be? Is it 9 inches?
Oh, the infraction of the addition into the setback is about 9 inches. The room itself. The trellis is really just within the property line.
Oh, so the entire trellis is within the...
Well, partially. The supports on one side. It grows out of a bench that hugs the property line. So, a good portion of the trellis is in the setback.
But part of the trellis is actually that little triangular piece is outside of the setback.
Yeah.
Okay, thank you.
Any other questions or comments for the applicant? No? Okay, thank you.
Thank you.
I'm sorry, Mary, did you have one? Okay. Is there anyone in the public who would like to? Obviously not. Okay. So we'll bring the conversation back to the commission for comments or votes.
Through the chair,
Commissioner Mishra.
there's no more comments. I'd like to recommend the Planning Commission approve use permit 15-015 with findings of fact 1 through 6 and conditions of approval 1 through 28.
Very good. Do we have a second?
Discussion? No,
Oh,
second.
okay.
Second with discussion.
Second with discussion. Go ahead.
Would the motion maker be open to giving staff direction to work with the applicant to have that trellis to be in compliance if the owners wanted to move forward with that?
I'm okay with that.
Okay. So we have a motion, a modification, and a second?
Second?
Okay. All those in favor?
Aye.
Aye.
Aye. Any opposed? Okay. I guess, is there an appeal period on this one, David, or?
There is an appeal period. It's a 10-day appeal
Thank you.
period.
All right. Thank you very much. Moving on to commission discussion.
The staff would like to talk to you a little bit about schedule. We're anticipating having a meeting on February 16th, but there could be the possibility of needing to cancel that meeting. We're working on a particular item, the hotel project, and kind of working on that project, and it may or may not be quite ready to move forward on that date. In the event it is not ready to move forward on that date, we would probably cancel that meeting. So in that event, we would maybe like tonight to talk to you a little bit about volunteers for the March Architecture Review Committee meeting, just in the possibility that we may need to cancel that meeting the 16th. We would give you advance notice, so to let you know that. I would tonight, though, continue this meeting to the 16th, and if we need to cancel, we'll cancel. But in the event we do, if we could get 3 volunteers for the March Architecture Review Committee meeting, that would be great.
What would the date on that be, Dave?
The date, do we have a date on that? We have to
First?
check quickly here.
First or the 15th?
March 15th.
Okay. Any volunteers for March 15th for architectural review?
That's a Tuesday, typically they're Thursday.
I'm sorry, yeah, it looks like it may be March 17th, actually.
17th, okay. Any volunteers?
I'll volunteer.
I'll do it. Anybody else?
St. Patrick's Day.
Maybe we can,
Well,
well, we can't have Kevin if it's St. Patrick's Day. Maybe we could call Joe and ask Joe if he would.
I'll volunteer.
okay, great.
Thank you, Commissioner Kyle.
Thank you, Commissioner Kayal.
Okay.
Okay, with that, then, that concludes staff's comments. Thank you.
Okay. And I guess we'll move on to item 7, which would be adjournment until February 16th, unless otherwise notified.
Okay, great. Thank you so much.
All right. And this meeting is adjourned.